picture space. Drapery clings to the body and is transparent to create the effect of integrated volume. The face is round, the eyes are half closed, the lower lip is protruding, and the roundness of the cheeks has reduced as compared to the earlier images from the Kushana period at Mathura. The hands are shown in Dhamma Chakra Parivartana mudra. So this mudra is known as the Dhamma Chakra Parivartana mudra. Placed just below the chest. The neck is slightly elongated with two incised lines indicating the folds. The Ushanisha has circular curl hairs. The aim of sculptor in ancient India had always been to represent the Buddha as a great human being who achieved ni- nibbana. That is,
Nirvana.
but
The
it
spelling
is,
is wrong.
yes,
Yeah.
sir. Okay, so nirvana, that is cessation of anger and hate. The back of the throne is profusely decorated with different motifs of flowers and creepers placed in a concentric circle. The central part of the halo is plain without any decoration. It makes the halo visually impressive. Decoration in halo and the back of the throne indicates the artisan sensitivity. The Sarnath Buddha image of this period show considerable softness in the treatment of the surface and the volume. Transparent drapery become part of physical body. Such refinement comes over a period of time, and these features continues in subsequent period. There are many other Buddha's images in standing position from Sarnath having features like transparent drapery, subtle movement, carved separately and placed about the memorial stupas around the Dharmarajika stupa. These images are now preserved in the Sarnath Museum. They are either single or with the attendant figure of Bodhisattva, Padmapani and Vajrapani.
Okay, that's all right. Now let us move to the next image. Okay, so it is also a detailed image over here. So this is Padmapani Bodhisattva, cave number 1. So it is important for us to, see Padmapani and Vajrapani in detail. So Padmapani Bodhisattva, cave, Ajanta cave number 1. So this is Padmapani Bodhisattva over here. Okay, so he is holding a lotus on his hand, on his one hand. So this is Padmapani. Okay, so we will read about him. Okay, so yeah, Iram, can you please read it?
Yes, sir. This painting on the back wall of the interior hall before the shrine antechamber in cave number 1 at Ajanta dates back to the late 5th century CE. The Bodhisattva is holding a padmas, that is lotus, has large shoulders and has 3 bends in the body, creating a movement in the picture space. The modeling is soft. Outlines are merged with the body volume, creating the effect of three-dimensionality. The figure of Bodhisattva is wearing a big crown in which a detailed rendering is visible. The head is slightly bent to the left, the eyes are half closed and slightly elongated, the nose is sharp and straight, light colors all over the projected planes of the face is aimed at creating an effect of three-dimensionality. The braided necklace too has a similar feature. Broad and expanded shoulders create heaviness in the body. The torso is relatively round. Lines are delicate, rhythmic, and defines the contour of the body. The right hand is holding a lotus and a left hand is extending in the space. The Bodhisattva is surrounded by small figures. The foreshortened right hand of the Bodhisattva make the image more solid and effectively dense. The thread over the torso is shown with fine spiral lines indicating its dimension. Each and every part of the body is given equal attention. Light red, brown, green, blue color are used. Nose projection, incise end of the lips with lower projections and small chin contribute to the overall effect of solidity in the figure compositions. The painting in the cave number 1 are of good quality and are better preserved. One can observe certain typological and stylistic variations in the painting of Ajanta, indicating different guilds of artisans working on the cave painting at Ajanta over the centuries. On the other hand of the image, Vajrapani, Bodhisattva has been painted. He holds a vajra in his right hand and wears a crown. This image also bears the same pictorial qualities as a Padma Pani. Cave number one has many interesting paintings of Buddhist themes such as Mahajanak Jataka, Umang Jataka, etc. The Mahajanak Jataka is painted on the entire wall side and is the biggest narrative painting. It may be observed that the painting of Padmapani and Vajrapani and the Bodhisattva are painted in shrine gardens. Similar such iconographic arrangement is also observed in the caves of Ajanta. However, the Padmapani and Vajrapani in cave number 1 are among the best survived painting of Ajanta.
Okay, so on the right side of this screen we can see an image. This shows painting of Mahajanak Jataka at Ajanta cave number 1. So like this particular Mahajanak Jataka is the biggest narrative painting, okay, in the Ajanta cave number 1. So that's why it is important for us to remember this one. Okay, so now we will talk about this image, which is Mara Vijaya. It is at Ajanta cave number 26, Mara Vijaya. Okay, so the thing is, so here we can see that at the center over here, Buddha is seated. Okay, Buddha is seated. Buddha still has a halo on his head. Then his hair is curly, and he has a this headgear. This is knotted headgear. It is known as Usha Nisha. Okay. Then his hand, his Hasta Mudra. Okay, this hand, he seems to be touching the touching the earth or Mother Earth. Okay, so he's touching the Mother Earth, and over here, like if we see, like on the top, like different Mara simply means devil. Okay, so devil, like a devil tries to come to Buddha, and then Buddha, what Buddha does, like Buddha takes the oath of Mother Goddess. Like it is like he's touching the Mother Goddess, and he's able to conquer his fears. Okay, Mara Vijaya means conquering one's fear. Okay, this is the thing. So this particular image is showing that Buddha is there at the center over here, and he is able to win over the fears of his mind. Okay, win over the insecurities of his mind and all. So this is Mara Vijaya. So there are a lot of other sculptures are also there. So we will see the details over here. So I would like what is her name, Sunita, to read it. Sunita, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can you please read it?
Hanji, sir. The theme of the Maya Vijaya has been painted in the cave of the Ajanta. This is the only sculpture's representation sculpted on the right wall of the cave number 26. It is the sculpted near the colossal Buddha image of the Mahaparinirvana. The panel shows the image of the Buddha in the center, surrounded by the Maya army, along with his daughter. The event is the part of the enlightenment. It is the personifications of the commotions of the mind, which the Buddha went through at the time of the enlightenment. Maya represents the desire. According to the narrative, there is a dialogue between the Buddha and the Maya, and the Buddha is shown with his right hand indicated towards the earth as a witness of his generosity. This relief sculpture's panel is highly animated, and the show the very mature sculpture style at the Ajanta. The composition is a very complex with the highly voluminous image. Their complex arrangement in the picture space is highly dynamic and they generate considerable movement. The figures on the right show Maya coming with his army consisting the various kind of people, including the some with the Zoroastrian uh, yes, sir. Rostrocuous animals faces the dancing figure at the lower base with the musicians have the forward wings waist, and one of the dancing figures have expanded her hands in the dancing postures with the angular fronted look on the left lower, and the image of the Maya is shown the contemplating how to disturb the Siddhartha, the name of the Buddha before enlightenment. The army of the Maya is shown the marching towards the Buddha in the first half of the panel, whereas the lower half of the panel shows the departing army of the Maya giving him adorations. The centrally placed Buddha is the Buddha is in the Padma Asana. The tree at the back is shown by the dense leaves. Some of the facial feature of the Maya army has taken characters of the sculptures from the Vidarbha. The artisans at the Ajanta workers in guides and their stylish affiliations can be traced by the identifying such stylish features. This is the largest sculptures panel at the Ajanta. Though there is a several big image in the cave of Ajanta and especially located in the serine antechambers as well as the facades walls. Such a complex arrangement of the figures in the unit. On the other hand, painted panels exhibit such the complexity in their arrangement. A similar kind of the arrangement of the dancing figures in a panel is also observed at the Aurangabad cave. Yes, sir, you can scroll down.
Okay. So the thing is, we have recently, like she has read about this particular, like Mara Vijaya, which is there in Ajanta cave number 26. So what is important for us to learn is that Buddha is seated at the center. Okay, Buddha is seated at the center, and he seems to be, like he's making the mother goddess as the witness that like he's a generous person and he's able to win over the desires. Okay, so desires are being so here Mara is Mara is being shown as desire. So Mara here it is being shown that Mara is coming with his daughters. A lot of his daughters are there who are trying to distract Buddha from his from his dhyan, and so the thing is in this case what Buddha is doing, Buddha is making the mother goddess. Okay, so Mother Earth as the witness that yes, I am a generous person and I'm not going to harm Mara also, and at the same time I'm not going to get carried over by the daughters of Mara or by the desires. Okay, by the desires. So this is what is being represented over here. So everyone who is surrounding the Buddha over here, they are daughters of Mara or some form of the Mara himself. Okay, so this is again the same image, okay, being depicted over here. On the center there is Buddha, and here we can see many ladies. Okay, so they are they are coming towards Buddha on the orders of Mara, and here in this particular paragraph it is mentioned that they are the daughters of Mara. Okay, so this is the thing here. What means like Lord Buddha, he is being shown that like he has won over the desires of his mind. Okay, he has won over the desires of his mind, and he is making the Mother Earth as the witness for this particular thing. Okay, so like we have another image over here. So this image, so I'll be just rotating for you. So here it is, this image is of Mahesh Murthy. Okay, Mahesh Murthy at Elephanta cave. So here what we can see in this particular image, this image has three heads. I guess four heads are there, only three heads are visible from front side. Okay, like one head exactly in front of us, one head to the left, one head to the right. Similarly we can expect a head on the back side also. So over here we can see four heads are being represented, okay, in the same image. It is Mahesh Murthy at Elephanta cave. Okay, so just allow me a moment. I'll see like if the screen is if the screen is normally visible or like if it is rotated. Okay, just so is the image normally is the screen normally visible in case of text?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can Iram please read it for us?
Yes, sir. So, okay. The image of Mahesh Murthy at Elephanta dates back to the early 6th century CE. Is located in the main cave shrine. In the tradition of Western Deccan sculpting, it is one of the best example of qualitative achievements in sculpting images in rock-cut caves. The image is large in size. The central head is the main Shiva figure, whereas the other two visible heads are of Bhairav and Uma. The central face is in high relief, having a round face, thick lips, and heavy eyelids. The lower lip is prominently protruded, showing a very different characteristic. The all-inclusive aspects of Shiva is exhibited in the sculpture by soft modeling. By soft modeling, smooth surfaces, and large faces. The face of Shiva Bhairava is clearly shown in profile in anger with bulging eyes and mouth edges. The other face, showing feminine in character, is of Uma, who is a consort of Shiva. One of the Shilpa texts mention five integrated faces of Shiva, and this image, despite despite being shown with only three faces, is considered as of same variety, and at the top and back faces are deemed as invisible. Each face has a different crown as per its iconographic prescription. This sculpture has been sculpted on the south wall of the cave along with the sculpture of Narishwara and the Gandhara panel. Elephanta sculptures are shown for their remarkable quantities of surface smoothness, elongation, and rhythmic movements. Their composition is very complex. The iconographic arrangement of this cave is replicated in cave number 29 at Ellora.
Okay, okay. So before we move to see the other portion, like other parts of this particular thing, so here, we can only see three heads over here. But the thing is, there are five heads. Like one head is behind it, other head is on the top. So like it shows five heads. Three heads are visible. One head is like on the back, and another head is on the top over here. On the top there is another head, so they are saying like five heads are there. Okay, so similarly here we can see another image. So this particular image, so this small image is the same representation of the larger image that we had seen earlier. Okay, and over here we can see only two heads are visible, but like there seems that another head is there on the top of it. So in all there are five heads over here, and where it is found, it is Mahesh Murthy at Elephanta cave. Okay, and it is like it is of Shaivite tradition, means like it is showing like Brahminism, like especially of Shaivite faith, faith and all. So now let us move to the next page over here. So I'll be just rotating this page. I know like the page maybe is visible, like it is little tilted. So I'll be just rotating it for a minute. Okay.
This is page of next chapter, I guess. Later, mural.
So these are mural traditions. Okay, mural traditions of India. So murals, murals are paintings on the walls. Like if we make big painting on bigger walls like that, so they are known as mural paintings. Okay. So this is like this is one kind of mural painting. This is another kind of mural painting. So mural paintings are there on the caves also. These are there on the forts also, like that. So these are paintings on big walls. Okay, so entire big walls, paintings can be seen. So these are mural paintings. So here they have represented by different letters A, B, C, D, E, F, like that. So let us see the A first one. Okay, first one means this, the left portion over here. So I'm just marking number one over here for everyone. This is number one. It is being shown by A, and let us see the description of this A. Okay, description is, it shows Ananta from like Ananta Padmanabh temple. Okay, Kasargod. Okay, so it shows Ananta from Ananta Padmanabh temple at Kasargod. Okay, so Kasargod, Kappad beaches, I guess, I don't know. So it is, it may be near Maharashtra.
Is in Kerala. Okay? No,
I'm
sir, it's in Kerala.
Second thing is, this is the B. Okay, so this is the second mural, mural painting from someone somewhere else. So over here, like if we see, one person is going, he's being followed by some of his attendants, and they have a, this umbrella type of a structure, which is, like, they are bringing it along with him. So let us see the detail about it. Okay, so what is written B? So it is Shiva casting the boar. Okay, a scene from the Kiratarjunia in Lepak's temple. Okay, it is Shiva casting the boar. Shiva chasing the boar. Okay, Shiva chasing the boar. A scene from the Kiratarjunia in Lepaksha temple. Okay, let us see another image. See this one, the left one. Okay, so we are going to see this left image. Okay, so this image over here. Okay, let us see the description. Here two people can be seen. I guess like this is Buddha, and this is an old man along with Buddha. So let us see what is the description. It is Chola king Raja Raja. Okay, and court poet Karvar Devar. Okay, Tanjavur, 11th century. Okay, so it is here it shows uh, Chola king Raja Raja and court poet. Okay, Kanvar Devar. Okay, at Thanjavur from 11th century. So this is another mural tradition. Let us see the D one. Okay, so this is the D. Okay, the D means like this is fourth one. We are going to discuss about this. Okay, so it shows Shiva killing Tripurasura at Thanjavur. Okay, so Shiva killing Tripurasura. Okay, Tripurasura. Asur means they are Rakshas. Okay, so they are devils. So Shiva killing Tripurasura. Okay, at Thanjavur. This particular thing. D image over here. Okay, this right one. And so let us see the another image which is shown E. So we are now going to talk about this fifth image now. Okay, so it shows Rama kills Ravana. Okay, Ram kills Ravana, a scene from the Ramayan panel at Mattacheri Palace. Okay, so it is a scene from Ramayana panel at Mattacheri Palace. Okay, so here Lord Ram is killing Ravan over here. Okay, so you can see Lord Ram is over here. He is holding bow and arrow like that, and I guess this is Ravan is being shown over here that like he has fall down like that. So it is a scene from that Ramayan panel at Mattancherry Palace. Okay. Then let us see the F, this sixth one. Okay. This is okay over here. Focus on this particular image. Okay, this image. It shows Shastra. Okay, Padmanabhapuram Palace. Okay, at Thakkala. Okay, Padmanabhapuram Palace at Thakkala. So this is all that we have seen today. Okay, so the thing is with this, like we have finished, reading the entire chapter. Along with that, we have discussed the important images. It is very important today. It was a very, important lecture for us, like for all of us, to understand in detail about, these images, like post-modern period images and all. So anyone having any question, anything?
So it can be concluded that the Ellora caves depicts the Mathura era or Mathura art culture, because the features is showing related with the Mathura art.
Yeah, features are related to Mathura art, but Ellora is not located at Mathura. So Mathura is indigenous school. Similarly, Ellora also has indigenous school. Now, if you talk about this Gandhara, so they have, foreign influence also. So in that respect, if you talk about Ellora and Mathura, so they have indigenous sculpture, indigenous art forms. And at Ellora, we find themes from all the three religions like Buddhism, Jainism, as well as Brahminism.
So basically, the Mathura art will be in the region within the Mathura itself, means not any other part of India.
No, means like similar art form may be imitated somewhere else also, but Mathura is basically located in UP. And the thing is, the kind of tradition that they had over there, so like they had indigenously built, art form over there. So they have some differences from Amravati School of Art. They have some differences from Gandhara School of Art. So what we do, we differentiate between Mathura, Amravati, and Gandhara. Okay. And the thing is, when we are talking about Ellora, so they may have some features from this thing, like Mathura School of Art, but we cannot say that that Ellora caves, like all these sculpture in the Ellora cave are an imitation of the Mathura School of Art.
Okay.
Yes. So Iram,
Yes, sir.
anything else that you would like to add?
No, sir. It's fine.
Okay.
Everything.
What about Gagan? Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, so we have finished this particular chapter. It was a big chapter, we understand, but like anyhow, reading in detail will only help in answering the question. If we just skip the things, like we cannot answer questions in the UPSC exam. So that's all right. So I'll be sharing this particular PDF also. And Iram, one more thing, I have recorded the first session also. I have recorded the second session also. Okay, second
Okay, sir.
session I did not record the entire session. I forgot actually to press the record button. But
Yes,
like
sir.
after maybe 5 minutes, I had started recording.
Okay.
So can I upload it on YouTube if you don't mind?
Oh, yeah, sure, sir. It's all
Okay,
right. No,
that
I have no problem in that.
okay. Actually, like we have to take consent because like you are also a
Yes,
part
sir.
of the discussion, right? If I don't have your consent, then I won't be able to upload it. That's the thing. Okay, so I'll be
Okay,
uploading
sir.
these videos also. I'll share in the group itself, like our group.
Okay.
Okay, so that
Okay,
like
sir.
people who did not go through it, they can also go through it. That's the thing. Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Iram, for reading it
Okay, sir.
along with me, and thank you, Gagan, also. And she has already left. She might be having some household work and all. We understand that thing. Okay, so with this, I'm concluding today's session. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
so have a good day. Bye bye.